I am welcoming you all of them to Chemistry of Main Group Elements course. Today I am going to talk about Ben's rule. If you understand Ben's rule, then you can easily identify site selection in trigonal bipyramidal geometry, as well as you can get knowledge about bond length and bond angles of mixed halide substituted non-metals. First of all, now I am going to define Ben's rule. Electronegative substituents prefer hybrid orbitals. Having more S character and the electropositive having less S character. And the electropositive substituents prefer hybrid orbitals having more S character. Simply I can represent it another way, that percentage of S character increases. S character increases in hybrid orbitals. Then that hybrid orbital directed towards electropositive substituents. Then it can undergo strong overlap to form short bond length and longer bond angle. Theta increases. The same way, percentage of S character decreases. In hybrid orbitals, which are directed towards electronegative substituents. Leads to theta decreases. We are very clear that electronegative substituents always prefer to go to hybrid orbitals having less S character, because if less S character means if there is more amount of positive characters. For example, if you taken a hybrid orbitals PD, I mean when we go to trigonal bipyramidal geometry, it has the two different bond length, and it is a combination of sp2 and pd hybrid orbitals. So it always prefer to go to pd hybrid orbitals to form a bonding with the central atoms. So that's what I am trying to say. This electronegative substitution, wherever you have here two different type of halide substituted on central atoms, that out of these two halides, which one is more electronegative? That should go to hybrid orbitals having less s character. Okay. This we can explain by more suitable examples. Just take a molecule of any molecule with trigonal bipyramidal geometry. The simplest example I can take phosphorus pentafluoride. Phosphorus pentafluoride, it has first of all two different bond length that we know, two different PF bond length. This bond length is always longer and this bond length is always shorter. That we already discussed in VSEPR theory. This because this fluorine have nearby three fluorine atoms which can undergo more repulsive. So what happened? This fluorine, to overcome the repulsion, this bond length, PF bond length is getting longer, and at the same time this fluorine, if you take the equatorial fluorine atoms, it has nearby only two fluorine atoms. So what happened? This can be a stronger bond, I mean this can be a shorter bond length. It does not face so much of repulsion compared with these fluorine atoms. Okay, that we know. We can also explain by hybridization concept. We know that TPP geometry have DsP3 hybridization. DsP3 means is a combination of s orbital plus px orbital plus py orbitals plus pz orbitals, finally dz square orbitals. These three orbitals will be in xy plane. sp2 hybrid orbitals will be in xy plane, and p and d orbital will be in, this pd hybrid orbital will be in z axis. So the sp2 hybrid orbitals are involving with them to form three pf equatorial bonds. This sp2 hybrid orbital is responsible for three equatorial PF bond formation, and this PD hybrid orbital, which is perpendicular to xy plane, that is responsible for two axial PF bond. Okay, so we know that on the basis also we can explain that sp2 hybrid orbitals can overlap with the fluorine atoms to form a stronger bond. So what happened? This bond is stronger or shorter bond length, and the PD hybrid orbitals that can involve with the fluorine atoms to form a two axial PF bonds. Oh, okay. Now let me go to a phosphorus compound having two different halide substitution. Just take an example of a molecule PF2 Cl3. Here the central atom is phosphorus. It has two fluorine atoms and three chlorine atoms. Now the question, whether the fluorine will go to axial side or equatorial. That if we completely understand Benz rule, from the Benz rule it is very clear that electronegative substituents prefer hybrid orbitals having less s character. Fluorine is an electronegative substituent that should prefer where less s character. XY plane have sp2 hybrid orbitals and z axis having pd hybrid orbitals. So these fluorine atoms, if it has gone to pd hybrid orbitals, it does not have any s character. So what happened? It can happy to sit in that position. So it will go to the two fluorine atom will go to the axial side. It has no s character, and the three chlorine atom will be in sp2 hybrid orbitals. So the final overall geometry of the molecule of PF2Cl3 is this one. The phosphorus will be the central atom, and it was bonded with two fluorine atom in axial side, and the three chlorine atom will be in the equatorial side to form a trigonal bipyramidal geometry of the molecules. Okay. Let me go to another example. that will give, that will deal about bond angle of your molecule. Let me take a molecule of simple molecule, water molecules. Water molecule, the hybridization of oxygen atom here is sp3 hybridized, and the two sp3 hybridized orbitals are overlapping with the hydrogen atom to form a OH bond, and the remaining two hybrid orbitals having a pair of electrons. Each hybrid orbital is having a pair of electron, and it has a bond angle of 104.5 degree that we knows. Because of actually it should have 109 degree, around 109 degree, but the bond angle is decreased because of lone pair bond pair repulsion that we have already seen discussed in VSEPR theory. Now let me compare with the fluorine substituted oxygen derivatives. Now the two hydrogen was replaced by two fluorine atoms. Again it also had same sp3 hybridized oxygen atoms. But what will happen, the bond angle? Even though it also have sp3 hybridized oxygen atoms, this sp3 lobes having S character will be decreases. Here sp3 hybrid orbitals that having percentage of S character decreases. Percentage of S character decreases, and the remaining two lobes having the sp3 hybrid orbitals, their percentage of S character may increase. So what happens? Resulting, the bond angle will decrease. How much it will decrease? The bond angle will be here now 103.1 degree. Okay, we have this comparison of water molecule and fluorine substituted oxygen molecule. I mean H2O with F2O. We have compared the two different bond angle to understand Bend's rule. Now I have another one more example, which is fluorocarbon. Carbon, again it has sp3 hybridized carbon atom which has one fluorine atom, and it has three hydrogen atom. Methyl fluoride. Just take this molecule, hydrogen. Methyl fluoride. In this molecule, of course you have to expect two different bond angles. One is FCH and another one is HCH. So, if you consider this one, it has one bond angle and another one has this one. Any one, HCH. Any one of you can take it and then you can find out the bond angle. You can discuss about the bond angle. Which one has? Either this one or this one has a higher bond angle. From the Bend's rule, it's very clear that here the sp3 hybrid orbitals having the lobes having percentage of S character should decrease. So, percentage of S character in this sp3 hybrid orbital should decrease. So this would have lower bond angle. We have to expect around 109, but because of percentage of S character decreases here, it has I think 108.3 degree. In opposite side, I mean if the percentage of S character decreases here, of course it should have more percentage of S character. So what happened? The bond angle should here, it should increase 111.9 degree. It is another example to make the understanding of Bend's rule. I have another one more molecule. Simple molecules such as methyl radical and trifluoromethyl radical. You can take these two molecules, methyl radical versus trifluoromethyl radical. Carbon was substituted by 3 hydrogen atom in methyl radical. Carbon was substituted by 3 fluorine atom in trifluoromethyl radicals. So what will be the geometry for these two molecules? One should have planar, another one should have pyramidal geometry. if you consider the methyl radical carbon with 3 electropositive substituents, I mean with 3 hydrogen atoms. So if it is 3 hydrogen atoms, the hydrogen will be considered as electropositive substituents. So it likes to seek more S character, it needs more S character. Only then it can undergo strong bonding. The overlap integral will be higher. So under that case, the hybrid orbital, which one can satisfy, which can provide 3 bonding pair of electrons. The best one is sp2 hybrid orbitals. So if you take the sp2 hybrid orbitals, it can provide 3 bonding pair of electrons, because sp2 hybrid orbitals can form 3 bond with 3 different with 3 atoms, as well as it has more S character. So it should have planar geometry. And the one unpaired electron will be in p orbitals. Okay. So this one is p orbitals. P orbital, and this one is sp2 hybrid orbitals. Okay. Can we draw the same structure for a trifluoromethyl radical? If I draw the same structure, I mean same geometry, what will happen? Let me see. It has a p orbital which has an unpaired electron, and fluorine have 3 non-bonded pair of electrons. That should we have to remember. Fluorine have 3 non-bonded pair of electrons, so there will be repulsion, because we know that the CF3 will be in a plane and the p orbital having an unpaired electron, so there will be repulsion between lone pair of fluorine and unpaired electron in p orbitals. So it will not prefer this geometry. And also this carbon having sp2 hybridizing carbon, that means it has 33% of S character in carbon atom. When we come to pyramidal geometry, I mean if the sp3 hybrid orbital having an unpaired electron, then what happen? Repulsion between, because now the angle is around 109 degree. So what happened? The repulsion will be decreased. The repulsion between non-bonded pair of electron in fluorine and unpaired electron in sp3 hybrid orbital will decrease. As well as now the sp3 hybrid orbital, we know that repulsion is minimized. As well as this carbon having only 25% of S character. Here 33% of S character. So what happened? CF3 dot can prefer only pyramidal geometry. So this question actually I have seen in inorganic chemistry, structure and reactivity by James E. Hughey. In the book I have seen that one methyl radical, and they have compared methyl and the CF3 radicals and which one has which geometry. They have asked this question that methyl will prefer planar geometry and the trifluoromethyl prefer pyramidal geometry. Okay. Now we can go to the last comparison. I am going to compare phosphorus pentafluoride with methyl substituted derivatives. Phosphorus pentafluoride is very known molecule. You all of them knows. I have already discussed also. Okay. So simple molecule, phosphorus pentafluoride. It has two different bond length. One is axial PF and another one is equatorial PF. Axial PF has bond length 1.577 and equatorial one 1.534. Okay, now we can compare with methyl substituted phosphorus fluoride and also with dimethyl substituted phosphorus fluorides. Okay. First question, this methyl group will go to axial or equatorial side. From Benz rule, according to Benz rule, it's very clear that fluorine should occupy the axial side and the methyl group should go to the equatorial side. So the geometry will be, first of all we have to fill fluorine atom in the axial side, then we can fill it in equatorial side. The last one will be in methyl group in equatorial side. Similarly, phosphorus, first of all fluorine should go to the axial side and the two methyl groups should be in the equatorial side. The last one fluorine will be in the equatorial side. Let me compare the bond length of equatorial bond length first of all. Equatorial bond length for PF5 is 1.534 Armstrong. What will happen to the methyl substituted phosphorus fluorides? Whether it will increase or decrease. When one of the fluorine was substituted by methyl group, what will happen? Methyl group is an electron releasing group and fluorine is an electron withdrawing group. That if you substitute fluorine by methyl group, effective electronegativity of phosphorus atom decreases. In both the cases, when you substituted fluorine by methyl group, effective electronegativity of phosphorus atom decreases. If it decreases, thus allow the bond length of phosphorus fluorine can increase. So, equatorial bond length as well as axial bond length should be increases longer compared with the phosphorus pentafluoride. In other words, I can say that if you consider this 3 will be in the equatorial side, the hybrid orbital which is responsible for xy plane is sp2 hybrid orbitals. So this one we know that it should have percentage of s character should increase. Percentage of s character increases here. Orbital which is directed towards the methyl group, their percentage of s character should be increased, and the remaining two cases, like that of the two fluorine atom which is in equatorial side, their percentage of s character decreases. Percentage of s character decreases. So what happened? If it percentage of s character increases, means it can undergo strong overlap and it can form a stronger bond, means this two should be decreases. I mean the percentage of s character decreases means it can't form a stronger bond. So the bond length should be longer. These two equatorial PF bond length should be longer in comparison with the phosphorus pentafluoride having equatorial PF bond length. So what is the bond length here? 1.543 Armstrong. Of course, the same reason for dimethyl substituted phosphorus fluorides. So here the bond length is 1.553 Armstrong. So the bond length, again what happened? When you come from the equatorial bond length of PF 1.534, when you substitute one fluorine with methyl group, it's elongated, and it's more elongated for 2 methyl substituted phosphorus fluorides. Okay. So what will happen now? Now we have to go to the another one. We have discussed now equatorial phosphorus fluorine bond lengths. Now let me think about axial PF bond length. What will happen axial PF bond length? In phosphorus pentafluoride, axial PF bond length will be 1.577. So when you come from methyl substituted PF4, what will happen? Compared with the fluorine, methyl is a little bit sterically bulky group. That makes steric repulsion of these 2 fluorine atoms than these 2 fluorine. Because this bond angle for methyl and this equatorial fluorine is around 120 degree. But when you come from methyl group with this axial fluorine, methyl group with this axial fluorine is approximately 90 degree. So these 2 fluorine faces more repulsion with this methyl group than this equatorial fluorine atoms. So if it faces more repulsion, to overcome the repulsion, the bond length of the axial PF should be elongated. So what happened? The bond length for this one is 1.612 Armstrong. When we come to dimethyl substituted, of course, now what happened? This will face again more repulsion. So what happened? This will be more elongated. How much? 1.643 Armstrong. Okay. So again, if we compare the axial PF of phosphorus pentafluoride with the methyl substituted derivatives, the bond length of axial PF also increases for methyl substituted phosphorus fluorides than phosphorus pentafluoride because of repulsion. Because of the repulsion, to overcome the repulsion, this axial PF bond length gets elongated. And if it is repulsive, then definitely you have to expect that this bond angle, because methyl PF, or if you take this bond angle, it should be around 90 degree. If you take it here, this bond angle will be 90 degree. That we know already. But if it is facing repulsion, of course this bond angle should methyl PF should be more. How much? 91.8 degree. That means 1 point approximately fluorine was substituted by methyl group. 1.8 degree was increased. Here I have the bond angle of this one. Of course, this bond angle should be decreased. If this will be decreased, methyl phosphorus fluorine is decreased, means then this should be increased. Sorry, if this methyl phosphorus fluorine bond angle, this is increased, means this should be decreased. F should be decreased. If the bond angle is 88.9. Okay. So now we have nicely compared phosphorus pentafluoride with methyl substituted, monomethyl substituted as well as dimethyl substituted phosphorus fluorides by their bond lengths and bond angles. It gives very clear idea about the Benz rule. Okay, now I am going to conclude for this session. First of all, from the Benz rule. Benz rule is, according to Benz rule, electronegative substituents prefer hybrid orbitals having less percentage of S character. Because percentage of S character, for example, when you go to PD hybrid orbitals, it has low electronegative. Normally, all of them knows that when there is increases the percentage of S character, then the electronegativity will increase. So if the electronegativity will increases, means that will prefer electropositive substituents. When you come to electronegative substituents, that will be happy to overlap with the low electronegative hybrid orbitals. Example, the trigonal bipyramidal geometry having PD hybrid orbitals. That's why what happened? Fluorine atom prefers to bonded with the hybrid orbitals having less s character, and electropositive substituents prefer hybrid orbitals having more s character. That we understand. And also we have compared the molecules of water with the F2O. In case of F2O, the bond angle is decreasing compared with the water molecules, because OF2, the fluorine oxygen there, percentage of s character decreases, so the bond angle is decreased for F2O in compared with the water molecules. And also we have compared we have discussed two different bond angles for methyl fluorides, and also we have seen the geometry. We have compared the geometry of methyl radical versus trifluoromethyl radicals. Methyl radicals have planar geometry and trifluoromethyl radicals have pyramidal geometry. At last, we have compared their bond length, bond angles of phosphorus pentafluorides with monomethyl substituted phosphorus fluoride and dimethyl substituted phosphorus fluorides. So I am going to end this session. I would like to give the reference for this topic. To understand more about this topic, please read this article. Inorganic chemistry. It's the name of the journal, ACS publication, year 1966. It was published in 1966, volume 5, and issue number is 9, page number 1634 to 1635. Finally, thank you very much for all.